Hello, welcome to the Mark Out Show Adventure in the Cosmic Suit. No titles today because I'm on Zoom and but my friend Ben Hunt here can't handle StreamYard. What do you do? What does a guy
It's
do?
tech. I don't understand it.
So, you guys watching, Ben was actually on about my third show or fourth show on this channel 4 years ago. We go back to about 2009. We both
Hmm.
met at a business internet seminar years and years ago. I know I've told this story before. I have to tell it again. And we were great friends. And then in 2016, Ben defriended me on Facebook, which
And
hurt me.
Skype and everything.
He cut me off completely. Tell him why.
It's because you're so dark, Mark. Um,
Don't tell me that. I've just had
I
three,
know.
three Telegram messages from people saying, he's dark. He's dark. Anyway, go on.
At the time, I mean, the thing is, you were way ahead of the curve at the time, as you know, talking about what was really going on in the world, in the tunnels, behind the scenes, and I I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it was pulling me down. That I couldn't handle that energy at that time, and it felt like it was darkening me and pulling me down. So for me at that point, I needed to keep my distance, and so that's what I did. And then I came round the long way round the mountain, round the other side, and there we met again. It's like, hello, I remember you.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you at
Yeah,
all. It is dark. I was going through hell at the time. When you learn this stuff, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not an easy place to be, but it's necessary for our spiritual development, I think, to get through this stuff and go through these spiritual lessons that we're all going through, letting go, building boundaries, getting rid of things that don't serve you. These are all actually essential but very, very tough things to go through. So I'm glad you're back in my life anyway.
no, me
And
too.
thank you for coming on today because you've got a few things you want to tell the world. Let's
Hmm.
over to you.
Well, I mean, so many we've checked. I think it's been really interesting over the years as well about how we've changed our relationship, not just with each other, but with the world of marketing, the world of business and money, and all of these things as well. I mean, you were always someone, to me who you never saw. You didn't have the problem with wealth that I had because I'd gone through the public school system and been around some very wealthy and privileged people, and I came out of that as like a foaming socialist, which I was for many years. But actually, in terms of the energy that I was attracting in my life, I have actively pushed money away for many years.
I know.
I mean, to the point that I've told this story before, but back in about 2006, I had what I've just been writing about in and done a video about my a $10 million day that I completely spaffed. Yeah,
Hmm.
I've told this story before, but I was working in Liverpool. I was doing 90 minutes each way on the train every day, and I was this is 2006 or 2005, 2006. So this is when Twitter started, WordPress started, Facebook started, and the iPhone came out. This was like a really pivotal point. So we're going early days, really, of the web. And because I'd been a smart web designer, and my because my mum had taught me the language of visual art when I was younger, I was able to teach other people what mattered in web page design pretty effectively. And I wrote this article about some style stuff that I saw going on around that time, and I called it Current Style in Web Design. And within a few weeks, my traffic was going up on my website. I was like getting 5,000, 6,000 visits a day, 7,000, up to 10,000. And I thought this was really weird. And I'd done this kind of summary page of this stuff. And when I looked at analytics, sorry, dogs got problems. When I looked at my analytics, people were linking to that page saying Web 2.0 design,
Yeah.
which which didn't even appear on the page. Anyway,
Hmm. And you
um,
ranked at the top of Google for it.
I ranked at the top of Google, and then I did another article called the Web 2.0 Design Style Guide that then ranked at the top of Google, pushing my other one into second place. And when I looked back a couple of years later, if I had paid Google for the amount of traffic that I'd have for the people were paying $3, $4 per click for that term, Web 2.0 design,
Hmm.
I attracted $10 million worth of
No,
traffic
I remember.
in with a day's work.
I know.
Now, and then I managed not to do anything at all with that. I just thought, oh, now I can relax. Um, yeah, so I did that, and then a few years later, 2011, I my back was against the wall. My marriage had broken down. I had to sell my watch to pay for the rent on my little house, and
I've been there.
yeah,
I
you
sold.
have,
I remember selling my watch to do the same thing.
yeah, and yeah, my arse was on the line, and I went down to a coffee shop, bought myself a very large coffee, had a pad and a pen, and I wrote one email, and I just announced a course. I was announced that I was going to do the Pro Web Design course. I sent it out to my uh, modest email list, and I got $20,000 worth of pre-orders that weekend.
Hmm.
And and again, and Save the Pixel, that came out at the time. Made $250,000 off that just as an ebook. Um, Made $250,000 off the Pro Web Design course over 2 or 3 years, and then after 2 or 3 years, again, it just went. I I closed the course. I sold my website, the domain. I actually burned my email list. I torched it, ditched it, because I didn't have any kind of sense of direction whatsoever. And to me now, 51, looking back at those things, I'm going, what an idiot I've been over the years, time and time again. And it's for some reason it's like got to this point where I'm going, this is not okay anymore, right? I am done just tossing it off because there are very important things that we all need to do in life, and this kind of aversion to allowing the money to flow through my life has really really held me back. So I'm here to hold up my hand and say I'm absolutely sick to the back teeth of this addiction that I've had to distracting myself from what matters in life. And I know you know this, but you've been peeling stuff away for years. The marketing to you and the business to you was I've seen that becoming less and less and less of a factor. It's just, no, this is a means to an end because you've got your mission, and that's what I'm about now.
Well, I'll just say to the viewers, I've known Ben for 15 years, and when he goes into a subject, he really goes into a subject, right? This is your great skill. When you started talking about Web 2.0, you were way ahead of the curve in
Mm,
terms of what you were doing. This is why people have referred to you as a genius, and you've written all these books, and you are. When you get into it, you've done stuff on chess, you've done stuff on you loads of books. How many books have you written? I can't remember.
yeah, but probably, yeah, about 10 books now
10
on
books.
different subjects. Yeah,
Yeah, on all different
psychotherapy,
subjects.
philosophy, food.
You're a polyglot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a wonderful thing to be. And we have similar traits in that respect. I think my thing with money came out of the fact that I was brought up in a working class family,
Mm,
and I looked at everybody still being poor after 50 years of working, going, fuck that.
mm,
I had the opposite. I'm not, I was just like, I'm not doing that. No, that's not happening in my life. And it's, I've always seen money as a thing. So I don't care about money either. And that's so I think this is going to be an interesting conversation for the viewers as well, because when I did a course on my channel called How to Monetize What's Already in Your Head, Create a New Income Stream, and Become
mm,
Sovereign Quickly, which the link will be below this video if you want to join it. It's an evergreen course. You can go and join it. And I realized then it was like the old paradigm was, well, this is a $5,000 course, but I was like, well, there's people watching this who got no money. So I said, well, if you can't afford it, it's free. If you can pay me.
mhm,
And that was the beginning of my evolution into this 5D business model. If people want to get this and they haven't got the money, you can get the ebook for free if you haven't got any money. The link to that's below this video. Because it is a paradigm shift from a business point of view, but it's more than that. It's much, much more than that. It's about sovereignty and sovereignty over your own feelings, your own thoughts, your spirituality, your health, your wealth, all of these things. And we've talked on my show many times. You've done lots of great work in the last few years as one of the co-authors of the Red Pill Revolution, the Red Pill Revolution, Food
Hmm.
Revolution.
Yep.
Have you got those to hand? Let's see those,
Yeah, I've got that's the food book. That's the new one.
which are both great books and written by great people. You know, all you four guys are all great in your own way, and you know, you've been at the hub of that because they came to you to create the content because you're so bloody good at creating content. And this is, you know, he's what I'm telling the viewers. Ben's world class at creating content,
Mm.
and but this process that you're going through is similar to what a lot of people are going through. So when I did that course, you know, it triggered some people. Some people because I suppose I'm quite an abrasive teacher. You know, some people find me incredible. I'm Marmite, really. You know, I walk into a room and say, "There's two types." I'd go into seminars. There's two types of people in this room. The ones that listen to me are going to be successful, and the ones that don't are going to fail. And then people would walk out and say, "You can't say that." That's what I can. It's my course. Fuck off. Because you know you've got to be like that. That's my approach. It's not everybody's approach. Not everybody likes it, but it does work. Um, and
Mhm.
it's really about empowering. You know, for me, it's all about empowering people um, to have the courage to do the kind of things that you've done. You know, producing 10 books in 10 years is no small feat, no small feat at all. But is it any good creating a book if nobody buys it?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing, you know, that's what I'm trying to get across to people with a lot of my work, not all of my work, but a big part of my work is like, it's great that you're doing this, but where's the money? Why you've got to have money because we're in a bloody world where money's still here, and you got to get rid of it. And that's big because we've been programmed massively. You know,
Mm.
I went through my socialist years thinking because you know you've got a big heart and you don't want to see a world of inequality. You don't want to see a world where disabled people with disabilities don't get looked after. You don't want to see that world.
Mm.
So socialism lures you in that way, but at the same time as luring you in, it's telling you money's bad, money's bad, money's bad, capitalism's bad, capitalism's bad. It's all bullshit. You know, there's never been capitalism. You know, everybody watching this, if you don't believe me, go and read Life After the State by Dominic Frisby.
Mm.
You know, amazing book which explains how true capitalism has hardly ever existed because there's always government interference. So you get distorted markets, but government interference is all part of the interference from the demonic realm as well, which is to keep you in your box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like that's the preamble I'm giving to explain why I think there's a spiritual aspect to this as well as everything else, because you are somebody that I hold in very high regard. And you called me the other day and said, right, I think I've found my thing and this is what you want to talk about today. So I'll stop talking and let you carry on.
Yeah, this is really weird because, like you say, and I'm not saying I haven't succeeded at things. I've been a serial succeeder,
No, you've succeeded at everything.
but but modestly, it's like, oh look, I did that, and now then what's next? And I get distracted and move on to the next shiny thing. Like I've been a complete business hoe, to be honest. You know, a proper slut. Um, you know, it's like you get bored. It's the dopamine rush of the challenge, isn't it? So, I mean, going back to about 2019, I just brought out a product, which at the time was called Expert Liberation. We talked about it at the time, and I'm going to bare my arse, Mark. Here, not on camera. Don't worry about it. You'll get you deplatformed.
Don't get the ladies excited.
I knew. Um, so I did this, and then my mate Phil, who you know well, said, oh, I've got this great group of guys. You've got to meet Jeremy and Graham, and they came over to my house, and we sat there, and they were so full of ideas about how we were going to change the world and regain everyone's health and stuff like that. And I forgot all about my project that I was doing, right? Which was about you finding your thing in life and turning that into a content publishing business that will support you and allow you to have the the lifestyle of your dreams. Okay. And I was really resonating with that. But then this thing happened, and we got so excited. And I'm like, yes, I can do this. And I'm like, let's make a website, let's make a members area and a sales page a mile long, and it was great. And we launched it, and we were just really, really excited.
Yeah.
And um, what we didn't do was a really take the time to focus like a laser beam on what the problem was that we were solving, because I was just so excited to make a start because I had so much energy. And then the second thing is it's the fourth phase of what was expert liberation, which is to grow it. You have to be there. You have to have a plan every week, week in, week out. You are out there, you're building relationships, you're going on interviews, you're plugging this thing, and everybody's working. And you have to be like a team of horses. Everyone's pulling in the same direction. We just didn't do that. Okay. And I should have known better because I just written the damn book on literally, I wrote the book. I wrote the book saying this is exactly what you do. Okay. And I forgot about it. And I forgot about it for 4 years until then. So it didn't grow, right? It potted along and then it spluttered out a couple of years ago. Jeremy and Graham split off to kind of rekindle their enthusiasm in a slightly different direction. Phil and I went the other direction and created the Big Fat Challenge, which was then focusing more on the keto carnivore diet and high fat and health and recovering your health. And that was the same thing. Created a members area, boom, burst out onto the scene. Um, we had one really good month when we went on Charlie Ward's show. Okay. Other than that, it didn't grow. Same reasons, right? Because what we needed to do is we needed to be out there building this content model. And I was getting really, really frustrated. I was blaming my business partner for this. It's like, look, I know what we need to do. We need to do this. You need to be out there getting us on podcasts and relationships and blah blah blah. And I said to him, I wrote this. I wrote about this 5 years ago. It's literally down there in black and white. And then I thought, I've not even looked at that material in 5 years. So I was coming back from my partner's house, eight and a half hours drive away from the north of Scotland. And I thought, I'd actually recorded an audiobook of that.
Car journeys are great for that.
Oh, I love it. Love
Yeah.
it. And so I put on I put on the introduction for this thing that I'd made. I'd recorded it. I even recorded the audiobook, for goodness sake, right? 5 years ago. And edited it and everything. And I listened to the introduction and I sat there with my jaw open, listening to this kid from 5 years ago, which was me, telling me about abundance, about attracting the right kind of energy, about the importance. And when I listed in that introduction the successes that I'd had and the misses, the ways in which I'd managed to shoot myself in the foot just monetarily, time and time again. And I'm sitting there thinking this was a real wake up call. And I'm getting bitch slapped by myself 5 years ago. And I thought, gee, right, I've got to sort my shit out now.
This is a form of therapy that people would spend a lot of money for. It's time travel therapy.
Yeah, it's bizarre. So, I mean, I've been doing things like, I've built like you said, a chess YouTube channel. I've got a chess coaching thing that goes on every month. Um, I've been a diet coach. I've been a philosopher. I've got a Substack running called Way of the Carnivore, which is about the philosophy of why we are Paleolithic humans and how we should behave and think as hunting predators, pack animals, not herd animals, not herbivores. Right? Brilliant. It's brilliant stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm doing. It's like because I can create good content. I've been doing it compulsively, but I've been doing it in so many different directions at the same time. It's like I'm trying to run 10 relationships at the same time and getting nowhere with any of them. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting all of that stuff now. These shelves behind me used to be covered in junk and DVDs and stuff like that. I'm going down to the tip every day. I'm getting rid of stuff. I'm emptying this house. I'm going down to the charity shop. I'm moving up to Scotland in 3 months' time. I'm going to
You're
take nothing
letting
with me.
you're
Hmm?
letting go.
I'm letting go. The
Yeah.
via negativa. Yeah.
It's very,
Letting go
very
and freeing myself, letting go of all this junk.
Well, it's
But
not all junk. Let me just say, when all the content you created has all been brilliant. I mean, I got an email a couple of weeks ago from somebody who did the Big Fat Challenge saying this has literally saved my life, and I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, I know. That's why I promoted it because it's fantastic stuff, and that content
yeah.
lives on. It's
But
it's a phenomenal thing.
it does save people's lives. It saves their sanity. The red pill books.
Yeah,
This is amazing, but it's been read by hundreds, maybe 1,000 people. This stuff should be accessed by millions of people.
this should be selling in the millions, but it isn't because there's not millions of people who want to hear it
Yeah,
yet.
but as long as the people who do need to hear it get it. But
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing. But yeah.
yeah. So I'm sick. I'm fed up, Mark. I've done it. So what I did was I went back. I looked at this material again, and then I thought, do you know what I've been doing? I have been compulsively distracting myself and keeping myself busy and preventing myself from actually doing the biggest and most magnificent vision for my life that I should have been doing over several years. So I've pulled that back up. I've retitled it Prosperous Mind, and I am launching it again to the world because I think here's another thing for me. Whenever I've been driving around and I look out at the world, I think this is a really useful tip. When you look out at the world, what is the thing that really hits you in the core? Because I look out and I see obese people, right? And which is now like half the people out there. And it breaks my heart and whatever. But the biggest thing that I feel, and I've always done this, like I knew I had this digital marketing skills, I could teach people this and that and the other. The thing that really gets to me is, and you almost said this the exact same words just a few minutes ago. To me, it's human potential. It's human potential that turns me on. And the thing that really stabs me in the guts is to see human potential squandered and squashed down. Right. So to me, look, helping people to reverse autoimmunity, get their health back, reverse type 2 diabetes, all this kind of stuff through diet, that's fantastic. I am not denigrating that in any sense whatsoever, but that is not my calling. That has been me distracting myself. I've been wanking away the last
Well,
decade.
and healing yourself.
I've healed myself. Yeah, absolutely. It's
These
maybe that
look,
was important because I started I did a 90-day carnivore challenge starting January the 1st this year, and that changed my life.
yeah,
When I
the same here.
realized I
I did
gave
it.
up alcohol, tobacco, coffee, sugar, wheat, all of these things at the same time. And but I thought it was about health, but the things that I learned about addiction and about my demons in over those 3 months were earth shattering for me. And
Mm.
I think that was necessary, a necessary part for me then to be able to start to see life more clearly. Yeah. So I've come back to this project, Prosperous Mind, which means two things. Obviously, it's about turning what's in your head into, turn your insights into income, you know, monetize your knowledge because we've all got things that we need to um all got information, experience, and knowledge that we can use to help other people, I believe, because that's the way that humans always used to be, right? In a tribe, somebody who knew all about the mushrooms, or somebody who knew all about how to tan leather, or how to catch fish and how to read the herds or whatever, you would learn the information that you needed to when you needed to learn it from your elders in the tribe, and then you would teach it to other people because that's just what helped the tribe. Now that's all been replaced by this idea of orthodoxy, this pyramid structure of knowledge rather than the circle structure of knowledge. Um, and I really want to reinvent that of how we help each other. People may, well, I'm talking to a few people at the moment, for example, somebody who's reversed their Crohn's with diet and by getting rid of mycotoxins as well, which is, and mold and stuff like that, very, very important. But there's so much knowledge out there, and we need to be serving each other, and we need to do it in a way that also supports us and nourishes and nurtures everybody within the tribe. And the way that we do that these days is using this technology, which is ridiculously accessible. Now, you told me about Substack. late last year,
Yeah.
less than a year ago. I'm really impressed with that platform, and I've figured out you can use Substack to create a paid course. You can use it as a course running platform,
Mm.
and it doesn't cost you a penny. I've spent thousands on membership platforms over the years
Oh
to
yeah, yeah.
sell courses. They'll pay you to do it now.
I know it was nuts back in the day. It required so much technical ability. It was ridiculous. And that was a real big stumbling block, which is why things like Substack now exist. I mean, people like us who are veterans of all that stuff, it's so easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There's
So,
problematic as well, but that's another story.
yeah, but and I also like the fact that they have a policy of not, and unless you are going out with explicit hate speech, that they won't try and snuff you out.
Well, it depends who defines what hate speech is. That's the problematic bit. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, for this kind of thing. So what is it? What's your plan? You got a live course starting?
What I'm doing is I'm running a pilot, and I've done a video. If you go to prosperousmind.substack.com, in fact, I'll give you the link if you could add that to the show notes.
I will.
I've done a video. It's just under 1 hour long. So if anyone's sitting there thinking it's time for me to do something remarkable, something different, I'm sick of the world of work. I'm sick of working for a wage. I'm sick of working for someone else. I'm sick of working for the man or whatever it is, or that there's just something in you that's burning, or that the still small voice that's calling you, that there's a mission there for you. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to be relaunching Prosperous Mind, and but for the next 3 months, I'm going to run it as a pilot. Yeah, so that's the thing. There's a video on there. I'm going to be running it as a pilot. So because what I need is um, I want kick-ass success stories. I want some case studies. So I'm going to run this over 3 months. So the program itself is going to be like $3,000 for 3 months, but it's hands-on help. This isn't just, you sit there and consume the knowledge. I'm literally there to help you, starting with the concept, which is massive, about how do you communicate this one thing that you're about, that differentiates you from everything else that's out there, that tells people why they feel compelled to get in touch with you and to work with you and to get your help. We design your business, we build it, literally, and the technology. Yeah, we've got a dizzying array. The technology itself isn't the difficult thing. Choosing which technology you need is more challenging these days. And then building it over time using awesome content. So I'm talking to a bunch of people right now, but I want 20 incredible case studies, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to work for 3 months full time with a group of 20 people, and I'm going to help them to build a viable and growing content-based, information-based business, um, within 3 months, so 90 days. So it's going to be a $3,000 course, but what I'm saying is that I'm going to do that for $1,500, so $500 per month for 3 months, right? And I always have your voice in the back of my head whenever I like discount something, going, that's too cheap, and this one. But this is for a very specific reason. I haven't gone mad, and I'm not devaluing in any way what I'm offering, because this is a win-win. I want to be there to be able to pick and choose the absolute best, the most inspiring success stories.
So what kind of people are you looking for right now?
For somebody who feels a profound urge in their soul to go out and help others by sharing some knowledge.
And then you're
So,
going to show them how to create that stuff, monetize it, put it out there on a sustainable basis.
absolutely. Yeah.
So it's
Well,
really for
not just show them, I'm going to be by their side, working over their shoulder with them as well. So, the how you communicate this is amazing. I don't have you ever come across human design?
yes.
So yeah. So in human design
I am a
terms,
perfect example.
yeah. Yeah, in human design terms, my energy type is generator. So
Yes, you are.
I'm literally bursting with energy. I provide the energy. Generators provide the energy that the world uses.
I know we've been up till 3 a.m. doing midnight run impressions in the past.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I'm not necessarily meant to be out there as the entrepreneur. That I am somebody people can come and plug into me and use my energy, and I get satisfaction from that as well, and seeing the results of how I can fire and kickstart other people, right? Um, so that's what I'm about. I will help people to really to hone in on the and to communicate that what we call the one thing in
Yeah.
prosperous mind, which is this: it's not only your brand, it is your business, it is also who you are. It's who you are when you get up in the morning, when you go to sleep at night. And it's once you realize that, once you put your finger on it, everything goes, oh, yeah, that's, and you feel this, burst, this buzz of energy. You've done it. I mean, you've done this, all these different things in digital marketing and SEO and all that stuff. But you could tell that it wasn't until you you kind of rebranded it from adventures in a meat suit to adventures in a cosmic suit, and it's like that's then you could feel it was really coming like from your core a few years ago. I
Yeah.
don't know if that resonates for you, but
No,
like
no, it does because, when it started, like, and I was nervous. I was told to start a YouTube channel from above, and I did it because
mm,
I'm a good boy, and and I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, I'm used to public speaking and I'm used to talking on camera, but I was suddenly totally exposed,
mm,
and I was just telling it how it was in the middle of the biggest psychological operation in history, and then telling jokes, and then getting, oh, actually, yeah, I've always been interested in free energy. Let's talk to this guy. I've always been interested in scalar waves. Let's talk to this guy. I've always been in, and then suddenly I was unleashed because I wasn't just
mm-hmm.
talking about marketing, which I always fucking hated anyway.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing something for the sake of doing, I mean, the problem was with me, I did digital marketing by accident. I
Mm,
was just at the right time, right place, right time, was fascinated by the potential for it, built a massive business in the UK, and then I was trapped by it because I was so good at it that everybody wanted me to keep talking about it or help them.
yeah.
And then I got really fucking fed up with helping people that weren't implementing it properly. And then I get frustrated with them, and because I'm an Aries, I haven't got the temperament to be I'm not nice with clients. I tell them off. And what I realized was on my own journey is that when I started teaching it, and I do love teaching if I've got good students, when I started teaching it, I realized that the problems people were coming to my seminars and courses usually because they thought they had a marketing problem, but they didn't. They had a personal problem,
Mm,
and it was a spiritual problem usually. And I ended up being a life coach, really. And
yeah.
I was going through my own spiritual journey at the same time. So I was like, well, I'm not really qualified to be one of these things. I'm just an internet marketing guy. But, and that's the beauty of all of this because, what your message is today to people watching this is, and there will be people watching this who will go, that's exactly what I need right now. So if you are one of those people, go and work with Ben because you couldn't get a better coach, is what I'm saying. Um, I'm a good teacher, not a great coach because I'm too abrasive and I'm very frustrated with people. But and I'm very honest about all of that. It's what I've been doing is just being completely honest with as much as possible about as many subjects as I put and put my hands up when I don't know stuff. The
Mm,
hard part about it has been is exposing yourself. And realizing that people treat you differently. That's been the weirdest part for me. And then I've got my fingers burnt in that respect a few times, and I've had to withdraw and then come back. So I'm learning constantly about that side of things because I think I know we are in a post guru era, but we're not in a post coach era, and we're not in a post healer era.
mm,
We still need help over the bridge, whatever that bridge is, and everybody that watches my show, or most people in the world at the moment, whether they resonate with this or not, are on a bridge on a way to somewhere, and everybody's at different points on that bridge. It quite could be quite
Mhm.
a big bridge, and when I'm all about people standing up and saying, well, actually, yeah, I do know shitloads about xylophones. I'm going to do a xylophone course, or I do know, this is where we're going, and the fact that money's involved is just the way it is. Money is just energy exchange, and you have to invest in yourself to grow. And then people who go, well, we don't need money. Well, we do because we're still in a financial system. So you can deny it as much as you like, you still need it. And
No, I've done so many years of I don't need money. I'm above that kind of bollocks.
no, I know, I
You
know.
know,
It
to
takes,
to worrying about your bills and having to go out and do work that you hate
yeah,
so that you can pay somebody else so that you can eat and pay somebody else so that you can have a roof over your head is bullshit. Don't
totally. And
we've got to stop that.
we're
Yeah.
heading towards the attention economy, right? Where instead of Google owning your data, and you own your own data and you own your own time, instead of them taking all your attention and then selling it for 10 times the price, you'll be able to sell it directly.
Mm.
If you're watching a show like this, then you'll be paid for it. If you're watching an advert, you'll be paid for it. And that's an interesting place to go to, and where, and multiple streams of income, and following your passion. This is the world that we're trying to build. And the more people that get into that state of flow, the better the energy is for the whole place. Because at the moment, we've still got a planet of people in boxes who have been trained to not think and just go there, do that, come back, do that, go there, do that, go there, do that. And no wonder we have a kind of mass insanity on the planet. Well,
Well,
that's
that's the herbivore mindset. You know,
yeah,
the
it is. Yeah.
herbivore mindset is, oh, there might be a threat over there. Herbivores live in constant cortisol, stress. You know, the fear of what might be out there. Oh no, you know, feel like Ricky Gervais sometimes. Oh,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
the but the attitude of a carnivore is very different. The attitude of a carnivore is
Go
you're
get
not
it.
surrounded by your food. You don't stand around all day going munch munch munch, chewing and farting and shitting. You have to go out into the world to find what it is, and so that is actually our nature. Our nature is to go out and find success, to want to do that, and to collaborate with other humans to do it as well, because we are supposed to work in teams. We are not meant to just keep consuming and getting fat until we're ready for slaughter. Right? That has never suited us, and it's not good for our health or our souls.
Or society. Yeah, I mean, most of the things I've been doing in the last few years are all collaborations, and I hope to inspire other people to collaborate. But what you're offering is a wealth of experience, and um in many, many different areas. And I'm telling you guys watching this, Ben is you'll know anyway, because he's been on my show before, and if you've been on the Big Fat Challenge, you'll know how good he is at producing content. But as a coach goes, if you're in a position right now where you're thinking, actually, yeah, I'm ready to jump, or I'm ready to do this,
Mm,
just do it.
yeah.
Just do it, because you're starting on July the 5th, right? Which is not far away.
Start on July the 5th. I mean, theoretically, I'm going to hold out for the absolute best success stories. I mean, I'm being completely pragmatic about this. You know, I want people who that I can take their case studies and they're just going to be mind blowing for other people, because I want to go out. I want thousands and thousands of people to be doing this and changing the world. Because it's also like you said, it's we're moving to like a decentralized world when it
We
comes
are.
to information, knowledge, and authority. It's got to be grassroots. It's got to be from the bottom up now. And it's not going to be the orthodoxy. It's not going to be the pyramid anymore. However, we still need to learn from each other. We still need leadership. It's just going to be there's going to be a damn sight more of us leading, you know, and we're
Yeah.
all going to have to find a way to lead in our own way. What is your calling? What are you being led and commanded to do? How are you going to lead? And so, yeah, that's what we're going to find out.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah,
first
so
thing the
yeah,
first thing you do when you want to be led is get rid of codependency. That's the big problem. But which is the problem with most relationships, actually,
yeah,
which was a very painful lesson for me to learn. But these lessons are here to be painful because we chose them. Or did we?
yeah,
That's the
and
big
and also to be something else that's really liberating, Mark. I mean, you're a great example of this. Is like letting go of your. So one thing that bothers me, like the truth that movement is, oh, we're all about the truth. No, there's this phrase. I can't. Was it Andre Gide or someone like that who said, "Trust those who seek the truth, mistrust those who find it."
Yeah.
Right? We're truth seekers. The search for truth is in motion, and it because this is something that is in revelation. It's evolving constantly, and we have to keep moving in order to look for it. This idea that, oh, you have to follow the science, that's not it.
No, you have to follow the dogma, is what
Yeah,
they're saying. That you have to do what we tell you, is what they're actually saying when they say that.
yeah,
You have to follow the science. No, you have to discover the science.
yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting, magical use of words.
So you don't have to have it all figured out in
No.
order to be able to help someone else. I have this like analogy of a herd of wildebeest or whatever going across the savannah. You know, you're not. It's not about the destination. It's about that you are helping the people who are behind you to be able to move forward with confidence without stumbling.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
you
to
want
do.
someone with a track record, and that is a really important thing. When I first went solo in an aeroplane, the flying instructor, Flight Lieutenant Babbage, God bless him, was a big fat guy. He was like I think he was about 60, maybe he was my age, and he jumps out of the glider with a motor in Nottingham on a foggy morning, and he said, "Right, you're going solo." I went, "Okay, sir." 16 years old.
Mm,
And he neglected, and I trusted him because he had the RAF wings and he'd been flying for many, many years. But he neglected to tell me that the glider would be half the weight without him. So it was totally different because it just took off like that. Now he did that on purpose, right? Because suddenly it was going, whoa, I was going up really quickly. And I
mm,
was like, I'm on my own. I've got to sort it out. And that's the point. He knew that was going to happen. And he knew that that's the best way to teach anybody anything. You get them to the point where they're ready,
mm,
even if they don't know that they are. And then you put them in a situation that puts them under stress to see if they can cope with it. And when they can, they learn. The same thing's happening with my eldest son right now. This is all part of being a dad and a teacher and everything else. And I know that you have three children. How many children? I keep forgetting. Three or four?
two of my own, yeah,
Two of
two of
your own.
my
That's
own.
it. Yeah. So, exactly. It's all about helping each other. And I think it's great that you're doing this. And I'll put the link below for anybody that wants to
Yeah,
join.
so yeah, if people want to
Yeah.
just watch that video, and then if it's, I mean, I've had people say to me, "I've watched that video with tears falling down my face." It's a real thing, and you'll understand when you watch it.
Well,
It's just over an hour long.
to those people, I say, stop watching videos whilst chopping onions, for God's sake.
I know. Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
multitask. I
what are
mean,
you doing?
sometimes I struggle to task, never mind multitask. No, but yeah, watch the video. If you're interested, then I tell you what to do. You drop me an email. We'll have a conversation about it. And if we are both convinced that you have got a fantastic proposition there, an opportunity, even if you don't know exactly what it is, because that's my job as a coach is to help you unearth it, to put your finger on it, and to find out what really lights you up. Um, if then we could work together.
Well,
Um,
brilliant. I'm glad you're doing this. I'll leave the link below. If it resonates with you, go and watch Ben's video and see if you work together and come back on and tell me how it goes.
yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and have dinner now. Is that all right?
Excellent. Thanks, Mark.
I've been talking all afternoon. I'm completely burnt out. Anyway, God bless you. Cheers, Ben.
You too,
Thanks
buddy.
everybody for watching. Bye.